Question 1. Which ancient civilization built a large wall across northern England to defend its territory? A. Greeks, B. Romans, C. Egyptians, D. Vikings. Answers is B. Romans. The Romans built Hadrian's Wall in the century AD to protect their province of Britannia from tribes to the north. Question 2. What name is given to the Germanic tribes who settled in Britain after the Romans left? A. Celts, B. Anglo-Saxons, C. Picts, D. Normans. Answers is B. Anglo-Saxons. The Anglo-Saxons were Germanic tribes Angles, Saxons, and Jutes who to Britain in the century AD, forming the basis of English culture and language. Question 3. Which Viking king ruled England in the early century? A. Alfred the Great, B. William the Conqueror, C. Canute, D. Edward the Confessor. Answers is C. Canute. Canute the Great was a Viking king who ruled England, Denmark, and Norway in the early century, creating a vast North Sea empire. Question 4. What significant event happened in England in the year 1066? A. The Black Death, B. Magna was signed, C. The Battle of Hastings, D. The Great Fire of London. Answers is C. The Battle of Hastings. In 1066, William the Conqueror led the Norman invasion, defeating King Harold at the Battle of Hastings and becoming King of England. Question 5. What was the Domesday Book? A. A religious text, B. A survey of land and property, C. A collection of folk tales, D. A book of laws. Answers is B. A survey of land and property. The Domesday Book was a great survey of land and property in England, commissioned by William the Conqueror in 1085 to assess taxes and feudal. Question 6. Which document, signed in 1215, established the principle that everyone, including the king, is subject to the law? A. Bill of Rights, B. Magna, C. Act of Union, D. Corpus Act. Answers is B. Magna. Magna was signed by King John in 1215, establishing fundamental rights and limiting the power of the monarch. Question 7. What was a significant consequence of the Black Death in Britain? A. Increased population, B. Major population decrease, C. Economic boom, D. End of feudalism. Answers is B. Major population decrease. The Black Death, a plague in the century, killed a significant portion of the European population, leading to profound social and economic changes. Question 8. Which Tudor monarch the Church of England? A. Elizabeth I, B. Henry, C. Mary I, D. Edward. Answers is B. Henry. Henry broke away from the Roman Catholic Church in the to form the Church of England, largely by his desire for a male heir. Question 9. Who was the monarch during the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588? A. Henry, B. Elizabeth I, C. James I, D. Mary, Queen of Scots. Answers is B. Elizabeth I. Elizabeth I, a strong and popular monarch, reigned during England's Golden Age and successfully defended the country against the Spanish Armada. Question 10. Which Scottish king became King of England and Scotland in 1603, uniting the crowns? A. Robert the B, James I C, Charles D, William. Answers is B, James I. James of Scotland inherited the English throne as James I after the death of Queen Elizabeth I, beginning the Stuart dynasty. Question 11. What was the main cause of the English Civil War in the century? A. Religious differences with Spain. B. Conflict between king and parliament. C. A dispute over colonial. D. Economic depression. Answers is B. Conflict between king and parliament. The English Civil War was primarily a struggle for power between King Charles I and Parliament over issues of governance and religion. Question 12. Who led the parliamentarian army during the English Civil War? A. King Charles I. B. Oliver. C. Sir Francis Drake. D. Guy. Answers is B. Oliver. Oliver was a military and political leader who served as Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland, and Ireland after the Civil War. Question 13. What was the Glorious Revolution in 1688? A. A major economic reform. B. The overthrow of King James. C. A new treaty with France. D. The invention of the steam engine. Answers is B. The overthrow of King James. The Glorious Revolution saw the deposition of King James and the ascension of William and Mary, leading to the establishment of a constitutional monarchy. Question 14. Which important document was signed after the Glorious Revolution, limiting the monarch's power? A. Magna. B. Bill of Rights. C. Act of Settlement. D. Corpus Act. Answers is B. Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights 1689 established key parliamentary supremacy, individual rights, and further limited the powers of the monarch. Question 15. What significant development began in Britain in the century, transforming industry and society? A. The Renaissance. B. The Industrial Revolution. C. The Enlightenment. D. The Reformation. Answers is B. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution started in Britain by new manufacturing, textile production, and the use of steam power, radically changing society. Question 16. Who is famous for inventing the steam engine, crucial for the Industrial Revolution? A. Isaac Newton. B. James Watt. C. Charles D. Kingdom. Answers is B. James Watt. James Watt significantly improved the steam engine, making it more efficient and a driving force behind the Industrial Revolution. Question 17. In which century did women get the right to vote in the A. century, B. century, C. century, D. century? Answers is C. century. Women over 30 were granted the right to vote in 1918, and this was extended to all women over 21 in 1928, marking a major step in equal rights. Question 18. What year did the First World War end? A. 1914, B. 1916, C. 1918, D. 1919. Answers is C. 1918. The First World War, also known as the Great War, ended on 11 November 1918 with the signing of the armistice. Question 19. Who was Prime Minister for most of the Second World War? A. Chamberlain, B. Churchill, C. Clement, D. Herald. Answers is B. Churchill. Churchill led Britain through the majority of the Second World War, delivering powerful speeches that inspired the nation. Question 20. On which date did D-Day take place during the Second World War? A. May 8, 1945, B. June 6, 1944, C. September 1, 1939, D. July 10, 1940. Answers is B. June 6, 1944. D-Day was the Allied invasion of Normandy, France on June 6, 1944, marking a crucial turning point in the Second World War. Question 21. What important public service was established in 1948? A. The National Health Service, C. The Royal Mail, D. The National Trust. Answers is B. The National Health Service. That was established in 1948, providing free healthcare to all citizens at the point of use, funded by general taxation. Question 22. Which monarch is the current head of state in the A. Queen Elizabeth, B. King Charles, C. Prince William, D. Prince Harry? Answers is B. King Charles. King Charles ascended to the throne in 2022, following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth. Question 23. What is the official title of the leader of the government? A. President, B. Prime Minister, C. Chancellor, D. Speaker. Answers is B. Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the head of government in the United Kingdom, leading the executive branch and usually the largest party in the House of Commons. Question 24. What are the two main houses of the Parliament? A. House of Lords and House of Commons, B. House of Commons and House of Lords, C. House of and Senate, D. House of Lords and House of Delegates. Answers is B. House of Commons and House of Lords. The Parliament consists of two chambers, the elected House of Commons and the unelected House of Lords. Question 25. How often are general elections typically held in the A. Every 3 years, B. Every 5 years, C. Every 4 years, D. Every 6 years? Answers is B. Every 5 years. Under the Act 2011, general elections are held every 5 years, although snap elections can be called in certain circumstances. Question 26. What is the minimum voting age in general elections? A. 16, B. 18, C. 21, D. 17. Answers is B. 18. To vote in general elections and local elections, a person must be 18 years old or over, a British citizen, a Commonwealth citizen, or an Irish citizen resident in the. Question 27. Which part of the has a devolved government with powers over education and health? A. England, B. Scotland, C. Isle of Man, D. Channel Islands. Answers is B, Scotland. Scotland has a devolved parliament, the Scottish Parliament, which has legislative authority over a range of areas including education, health, and justice. Question 28. What is the capital city of England? A. Manchester, B. London, C. D. Liverpool. Answers is B, London. London is the capital and largest city of England and the United Kingdom, a major global financial and cultural centre. Question 29. What is the capital city of Scotland? A. Glasgow, B. Edinburgh, C. Aberdeen, D. Dundee. Answers is B, Edinburgh. Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland, famous for its historic castle, annual festival, and vibrant cultural scene. Question 30. What is the capital city of Wales? A. Swansea, B. Cardiff, C. Newport, D. Answers is B, Cardiff. Cardiff is the capital and largest city of Wales, known for its castle, Bay Area, and status as a sporting and cultural hub. Question 31. What is the capital city of Northern Ireland? A. Derry, B. Belfast, C. Armagh, D. Answers is B, Belfast. Belfast is the capital and largest city of Northern Ireland, with a rich industrial history and modern cultural attractions. Question 32. What is the highest mountain in Scotland and the A. Snowdon, B. Ben Nevis, C. Pike, D. Answers is B, Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis in the Scottish Highlands is the highest mountain in Scotland and the entire United Kingdom. Question 33. What is the longest river in the United Kingdom? A. River Thames, B. River Severn, C. River Trent, D. River Clyde. Answers is B. River Severn. The River Severn is the longest river in the, flowing for approximately 354 kilometres, 220 miles through Wales and England. Question 34. Which sport is traditionally associated with Wimbledon? A. Cricket, B. Tennis, C. Rugby, D. Football. Answers is B. Tennis. Wimbledon is the world's oldest and most prestigious tennis tournament, one of the 4 Grand Slam tennis events. Question 35. Who is considered England's greatest playwright and poet? A. Charles Dickens, B. William Shakespeare, C. Jane D. Answers is B. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often called the Bard of Avon, wrote many famous plays and sonnets, shaping English literature. Question 36. Which British band rose to global fame with hits like Hey? A. The Rolling Stones, B. The Beatles, C. Queen, D. Led Zeppelin. Answers is B. The Beatles. The Beatles from Liverpool became one of the most influential bands of all time, spearheading the British invasion of the US. Question 37. What is the traditional name for the day after Christmas, A. Public holiday in the A. New Year's Day, B. Boxing Day, C. Easter Monday, D. Remembrance Day. Answers is B. Boxing Day. Boxing Day, December 26, is a public holiday in the, traditionally a day for giving gifts to service staff and spending time with family. Question 38. What is a common traditional British dish consisting of sausages served with mashed potato? A. Fish and chips. B. And mash. C. Shepherd's pie. D. Roast dinner. Answers is B. And mash. And mash is a classic British dish, often served with onion gravy, peas and other vegetables. Question 39. What is one of the key of all adults living in the A. To learn a foreign language, B. To obey the law, C. To join a political party, D. To own property. Answers is B. To obey the law. Obeying the law is a fundamental responsibility for everyone living in the, ensuring a safe and orderly society. Question 40. What is the primary role of the police in the A. To make laws, B. To maintain law and order, C. To interpret laws, D. To elect members of parliament? Answers is B. To maintain law and order. The police force in the is responsible for preventing and detecting crime, maintaining public order, and protecting the community. Question 41. What is an important civic duty that involves deciding the outcome of a court case? A. Voting in elections, B. Jury service, C. Paying taxes, D. Volunteering. Answers is B. Jury service. Jury service is a legal obligation for eligible citizens, where they sit on a jury to hear evidence and deliver a verdict in a criminal trial. Question 42. What is the official currency of the United Kingdom? A. Euro, B. Pound sterling, C. Dollar, D. Franc. Answers is B. Pound sterling. The pound sterling, commonly known as the pound, is the official currency of the United Kingdom and it's associated. Question 43. Which flower is the national emblem of England? A. Thistle, B. Rose, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Rose. The rose has been the national emblem of England since the Wars of the Roses in the century. Question 44. What is the national emblem of Scotland? A. Rose, B. Thistle, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Thistle. The thistle has been the national symbol of Scotland, for often representing resilience and defiance. Question 45. What is the national emblem of Wales? A. Rose, B. Daffodil, C. Thistle, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Daffodil. The daffodil is the national flower of Wales, often worn on David's Day. Question 46. What is the national emblem of Northern Ireland? A. Rose, B. Shamrock, C. Thistle, D. Daffodil. Answers is B. Shamrock. The shamrock is a national symbol of Northern Ireland, linked to and Irish culture. Question 47. Who was the legendary figure said to have fought against invading Saxons? A. King Alfred, B. King Arthur, C. William, D. Robin Hood. Answers is B. King Arthur. King Arthur is a legendary British leader who, according to medieval and romances, led the defense of Britain against Saxon invaders in the late and early. Question 48. Which Roman emperor was responsible for building Hadrian's Wall? A. Augustus, B. Hadrian, C. Nero, D. Constantine. Answers is B. Hadrian. Hadrian's Wall was built on the orders of the Emperor Hadrian in AD 122 to mark the northern boundary of Roman Britain. Question 49. What was the name of the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, defeated in 1066? A. King Alfred, B. King Harold, C. King Edward the Confessor, D. King Canute. Answers is B. King Harold. King Harold, known as Harold, was the last crowned Anglo-Saxon king of England, killed at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Question 50. Which English king was known as Lionheart and led the Third Crusade? A. Henry, B. Richard I, C. Edward I, D. John. Answers is B. Richard I. Richard I, also known as Richard the Lionheart, was King of England from 1189 to 1199 and a prominent military leader during the Third Crusade. Question 51. What was the name of the period when Henry ruled England? A. Georgian era, B. Tudor period, C. Victorian era, D. Stuart period. Answers is B. Tudor period. Henry reigned from 1509 to 1547, a key period within the Tudor dynasty, known for the English Reformation. Question 52. Who was the daughter of Henry who became a powerful queen and never married? A. Mary I, B. Elizabeth I, C. of Aragon, D. Anne. Answers is B. Elizabeth I. Elizabeth I, known as the Virgin Queen, ruled England for over 40 years, from 1558 to 1603, a period often called the Elizabethan Age. Question 53. What was the failed plot in 1605 to blow up the Houses of Parliament? A. The Rye House plot, B. The Gunpowder plot, C. The Popish plot, D. The Street conspiracy. Answers is B. The Gunpowder plot. The Gunpowder plot was a failed attempt by a group of English Catholics, led by Guy, to assassinate King James I and the Parliament. Question 54. Who was the last Stuart monarch? A. Charles, B. Queen Anne, C. James, D. William. Answers is B. Queen Anne. Queen Anne reigned was the last monarch of the House of Stuart. She oversaw the unification of the kingdoms of England and Scotland into Great Britain. Question 55. What major city was largely destroyed by fire in 1666? A. Bristol, B. London, C. Edinburgh, D. York. Answers is B. London. The Great Fire of London in 1666 destroyed a large part of the city, including many wooden buildings, leading to extensive rebuilding. Question 56. Which Scottish engineer designed the Forth Bridge? A. John, B. Sir Benjamin Baker, C. Alexander Graham Bell, D. James Watt. Answers is B. Sir Benjamin Baker. The Forth Bridge, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and iconic railway bridge in Scotland, was primarily designed by Sir John Fowler and Sir Benjamin Baker. Question 57. What movement campaigned for women's right to vote in the early century? A. Chartists, B. Suffragettes, C. Diggers, D. Luddites. Answers is B. Suffragettes. The suffragettes, led by Pankhurst, were members of women's organisations who campaigned for the right to vote in public elections in the early century. Question 58. When did the join the European Economic Community, now the A. 1957, B. 1973, C. 1992, D. 2004? Answers is B. 1973. They joined the European Economic Community, the precursor to the European Union, on 1 January 1973. Question 59. Who was the first female Prime Minister of the A. May, B. Thatcher, C. Truss, D. Barbara Castle? Answers is B. Thatcher. Thatcher, known as the Iron Lady, served as Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990, becoming the British Prime Minister of the century. Question 60. What is the official residence and principal workplace of the Prime Minister? A. Palace, B. 10 Downing Street, C. Windsor Castle, D. Palace of Westminster? Answers is B. 10 Downing Street. 10 Downing Street in London has been the official residence and office of the Prime Minister since 1735. Question 61. What is the main role of the monarch in modern government? A. To pass laws, B. To act as head of state, C. To lead the government, D. To elect? Answers is B. To act as head of state. The monarch is the symbolic head of state, performing ceremonial and providing a focus for national identity, while political power rests with Parliament and the government. Question 62. Which body is responsible for making laws in the A. The judiciary, B. Parliament, C. The monarchy, D. Local councils? Answers is B. Parliament. Parliament, consisting of the House of Commons and the House of Lords, is the supreme body in the United Kingdom. Question 63. What is the function of the House of Lords? A. To propose the national budget, B. To scrutinise legislation and hold government to account, C. To elect the Prime Minister, D. To enforce laws? Answers is B. To scrutinise legislation and hold government to account. The House of Lords primarily acts as a revising chamber, scrutinising bills passed by the House of Commons and debating important issues. Question 64. What is the name of the legislative body in Wales? A. Scottish Parliament, B. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament, C. Northern Ireland Assembly, D. House of. Answers is B. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament. Senedd Cymru, or the Welsh Parliament, is the democratically elected body that represents the interests of Wales and makes laws for the country. Question 65. What is the name of the legislative body in Northern Ireland? A. Scottish Parliament, B. Northern Ireland Assembly, C. Senedd Cymru, D. Answers is B. Northern Ireland Assembly. The Northern Ireland Assembly is the devolved legislature of Northern Ireland, with powers to legislate on many issues. Question 66. What is the name of the highest court in the United Kingdom? A. High Court, B. Supreme Court, C. Court of Appeal, D. Crown Court. Answers is B. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of the United Kingdom is the final court of appeal for all civil cases in the, and for criminal cases from England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Question 67. Which famous landmark is in London and houses the Crown? A. Palace, B. Tower of London, C. Westminster Abbey, D. Cathedral. Answers is B. Tower of London. The Tower of London is a historic castle on the north bank of the River Thames, famous as a prison and for housing the Crown. Question 68. Which famous clock tower is a prominent symbol of London? A. The Shard, B. Big Ben Elizabeth Tower, C. London Eye, D. The Gherkin. Answers is B. Big Ben Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is the nickname for the Great Bell of the clock at the north end of the Palace of Westminster in London, officially known as the Elizabeth Tower. Question 69. Which body of water separates from mainland Europe? A. Atlantic Ocean, B. English Channel, C. North Sea, D. Irish Sea. Answers is B. English Channel. The English Channel is the arm of the Atlantic Ocean that separates southern England from northern France, connecting the North Sea to the Atlantic Ocean. Question 70. What is the highest mountain in Wales? A. Ben Nevis, B. Snowdon, C. Pike, D. Mount. Answers is B. Snowdon. Snowdon in Welsh is the highest mountain in Wales, in National Park. Question 71. Which sport in England and is now played globally with a Premier League? A. Cricket, B. Football, soccer, C. Rugby, D. Tennis. Answers is B. Football, soccer. Football soccer is widely considered to have in England, with its modern rules in the century. Question 72. Who is a famous Scottish poet known for works like Old Sign? A. Walter Scott, B. Robert Burns, C. Robert Louis, D. Lord. Answers is B. Robert Burns. Robert Burns, also known as Burns, is Scotland's national poet, and his works are celebrated worldwide, particularly on Burns Night. Question 73. Which British author the character Sherlock Holmes? A. Christie, B. Arthur, C. Charles Dickens, D. J.K. Answers is B. Arthur. Sir Arthur was a British writer and physician, most noted for his fictional stories about the detective Sherlock Holmes. Question 74. What is a traditional British Sunday meal consisting of roasted meat, potatoes and vegetables? A. Curry, B. Sunday roast, C. Full English breakfast, D. Pie and mash. Answers is B. Sunday roast. The Sunday roast is a traditional British meal, typically eaten on Sunday, comprising roasted meat, often beef, chicken, lamb or pork, roast potatoes, and accompaniments such as Yorkshire pudding, stuffing and vegetables, all covered in gravy. Question 75. What is the minimum age to purchase alcohol in the A. 16, B. 18, C. 21, D. 17? Answers is B. 18. The legal age to buy alcohol in the is 18 years old. It is also illegal for anyone under 18 to drink alcohol in licensed premises. Question 76. What is the purpose of Home Revenue and Customs? A. To provide healthcare. B. To collect taxes. C. To maintain law and order. D. To regulate banking. Answers is B. To collect taxes. Is the government department responsible for collecting taxes, administering the tax system, and paying some benefits? Question 77. What is one important right of a British citizen? A. To claim any unoccupied land. B. To vote in elections. C. To be exempt from paying taxes. D. To drive without a license. Answers is B. To vote in elections. The right to vote in general and local elections is a fundamental democratic right for British citizens who meet the age and residency requirements. Question 78. Who was the first Christian missionary to establish a monastery in Iona, Scotland? A. Augustine. B. Columba. C. D. Andrew. Answers is B. Columba. Columba came from Ireland to Iona in AD 563, establishing a monastery that became a significant centre for the spread of Christianity in Scotland. Question 79. What was the official name for England and Scotland after the crowns were united in 1603? A. United Kingdom. B. Great Britain. C. British. D. Commonwealth of Nations. Answers is B. Great Britain. Although the crowns were united in 1603, the separate parliaments of England and Scotland remained until the Acts of Union in 1707, which formally the Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 80. Which famous naval battle fought in 1805, British naval supremacy? A. Battle of Waterloo. B. Battle of Sea. Battle of the Somme. D. Battle of Britain. Answers is B. Battle of. The Battle of off the coast of Spain was a decisive naval engagement during the wars where the British fleet, led by Admiral Lord Nelson, defeated the combined French and Spanish. Question 81. Which Scottish engineer and inventor developed the first practical bicycle? A. Alexander Graham Bell. B. C. John D. Robert Louis. Answers is B. Is often credited with inventing the pedal bicycle in 1839, significantly advancing personal transportation. Question 82. Who designed the iconic cathedral in London after the Great Fire? A. Jones. B. Sir Christopher Wren. C. John Nash. D. Robert Adam. Answers is B. Sir Christopher Wren. Sir Christopher Wren was an English architect, astronomer and mathematician, famous for rebuilding many London churches after the Great Fire, most notably Cathedral. Question 83. Which British scientist developed the theory of evolution by natural selection? A. Isaac Newton. B. Charles. C. Stephen Hawking. D. Alan. Answers is B. Charles. Charles published On the Origin of Species in 1859, proposing the theory that all species of life have descended over time from common ancestors through natural selection. Question 84. Which famous Victorian nurse is considered the founder of modern nursing? A. Mary, B. Florence Nightingale, C. Elizabeth Fry, D. Answers is B. Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale, known as the Lady with the Lamp, became prominent during the Crimean War for her efforts to improve sanitary conditions and patient care. Question 85. What was the name of the agreement signed in 1998 to bring peace to Northern Ireland? A. Belfast Accord, B. Good Friday Agreement, C. Anglo-Irish Treaty, D. Downing Street Declaration. Answers is B. Good Friday Agreement. The Good Friday Agreement, or Belfast Agreement, was a major political development in the Northern Ireland peace process, signed on April 10, 1998. Question 86. What is the name of the national flag of the United Kingdom? A. George's Cross, B. Union Jack, C. Saltire, D. Red Dragon. Answers is B. Union Jack. The Union Jack, or Union flag, is the national flag of the United Kingdom. It is a superimposition of the flags of England George's Cross, Scotland Andrew's Cross, and Northern Ireland Cross. Question 87. What is the role of the Speaker of the House of Commons? A. To lead the government, B. To preside over debates and maintain order, C. To represent the monarch, D. To draft legislation. Answers is B. To preside over debates and maintain order. The Speaker is the chief officer and highest authority of the House of Commons, impartial in there of presiding over debates and ensuring parliamentary rules are followed. Question 88. What is the minimum age at which you can serve in the armed forces in the A. 16, B. 16 with parental consent, C. 18, D. 21. Answers is B. 16 with parental consent. Can join the armed forces at age 16, but parental consent is required until they are 18 years old. Question 89. What is the traditional dance of Scotland often performed at Céilís? A. Dance, B. Scottish country dance, C. Irish jig, D. Maypole dance. Answers is B. Scottish country dance. Scottish country dancing is a form of social dance involving groups of couples or sets, often performed to traditional Scottish music at gatherings called Céilís. Question 90. Which British institution is famous for its collection of world art and artefacts in London? A. National Gallery, B. British Museum, C. Tate Modern, D. Victoria and Albert Museum. Answers is B. British Museum. The British Museum in London houses a vast collection of world art and artefacts, documenting human history from its beginnings to the present. Question 91. What is the name for the British system of laws based on custom and court decisions, rather than written statutes? A. Statutory law, B. Common law, C. Civil law, D. Constitutional law. Answers is B. Common law. Common law is the body of law from judicial decisions of courts and similar tribunals, rather than from statutes or constitutions. Question 92. Which British scientist the laws of motion and universal gravitation? A. Albert Einstein, B. Isaac Newton, C. Michael Faraday, D. James Clerk Maxwell. Answers is B. Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton, a key figure in the scientific revolution, is renowned for his work on gravity and laws of motion, published in. Question 93. What is the main purpose of local councils in the A. To run national defence, B. To provide local services, C. To conduct foreign policy, D. To appoint judges? Answers is B. To provide local services. Local councils are responsible for delivering a wide range of public services to their local, such as education, social care, housing and waste collection. Question 94. Which British social reformer championed prison reform in the century? A. Florence Nightingale, B. John C. William, D. Elizabeth Fry. Answers is B. John. John was a prominent prison reformer whose work led to improvements in prison conditions and the development of the modern prison system. Question 95. What is the name of the annual horse racing event in Liverpool known for its Grand National Race? A. Royal Ascot, B. C. Festival, D. Epsom Derby. Answers is B. Racecourse is most famous for annually holding the Grand National Steeplechase, one of the biggest events in the British sporting calendar. Question 96. What is a traditional Welsh pastry filled with currants and spices, cooked on a griddle? A. Scone, B. Welsh cake, C. Pasty, D. Crumpet. Answers is B. Welsh cake. Welsh cakes are traditional flat, round cakes, often containing dried fruit, cooked on a griddle and popular throughout Wales. Question 97. Which Scottish city is famous for its shipbuilding heritage on the River Clyde? A. Edinburgh, B. Glasgow, C. Aberdeen, D. Dundee. Answers is B. Glasgow. Glasgow on the River Clyde was once one of the world's leading industrial, particularly renowned for its shipbuilding and engineering. Question 98. What is the collective term for the islands of Great Britain, Ireland and many smaller surrounding islands? A. United Kingdom, B. British, C. British Commonwealth, D. Atlantic Archipelago. Answers is B. British. The British is a geographical term referring to a group of islands off the coast of mainland Europe, including Great Britain, Ireland, and many smaller islands. Question 99. What is the famous prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England, consisting of standing stones? A. Avebury, B. Stonehenge, C. Hadrian's Wall, D. Castle. Answers is B. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England, consisting of a ring of standing stones, dating from the late Neolithic and early Bronze Age. Question 100. Which English king was forced to flee London during the revolt in 1381? A. Henry V. B. Richard, C. Edward, D. Henry. Answers is B. Richard. Richard faced the revolt in 1381, A major uprising in medieval England, provoked by high taxes and social unrest. Question 101. What was the name of the period in the century when England was a republic without a monarch? A. The Restoration, B. The Commonwealth, C. The Interregnum, D. The Regency. Answers is B. The Commonwealth. After the execution of King Charles I in 1649, England, and later Scotland and Ireland, were governed as a republic known as the Commonwealth of England. Question 102. What is the name given to the People's Memorial to Princess Diana in Park? A. Diana Memorial Fountain, B. Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Fountain, C. Princess Diana Memorial Garden, D. Diana's River. Answers is B. Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Fountain. The Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Fountain in Park, London, opened in 2004, is designed to express Diana's spirit and love of children. Question 103. What is the name of the patron saint of England? A. St. Andrew, B. St. George, C. St. David, D. St. Answers is B. St. George. St. George is the patron saint of England, and his feast day is celebrated on April. Question 104. What is the name of the patron saint of Scotland? A. St. George, B. St. Andrew, C. St. David, D. St. Answers is B. St. Andrew. St. Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland, and his feast day is celebrated on November. Question 105. What is the name of the patron saint of Wales? A. St. George, B. St. David, C. St. Andrew, D. St. Answers is B. St. David. St. David Dewi Sant is the patron saint of Wales, celebrated on March David's Day. Question 106. What is the name of the patron saint of Northern Ireland? A. St. George, B. St. C. St. Andrew, D. St. David. Answers is B. Saint. Saint is the patron saint of Ireland, and his feast day is celebrated on March. Question 107. What is the traditional name for a public holiday in the A. National Day, B. Bank holiday, C. Civic Day, D. Federal holiday? Answers is B. Bank holiday. Bank are public holidays in the United Kingdom, established by the Bank Act 1871. Question 108. Which British institution awards degrees and conducts research with famous like Oxford and Cambridge? A. The National Trust, B. C. The Royal Society, D. The British Library. Answers is B. There has a long and proud tradition of academic excellence, with like Oxford and Cambridge being among the oldest and most prestigious globally. Question 109. What is the name of the river that flows through London? A. River Mersey, B. River Thames, C. River Trent, D. River Tyne. Answers is B. River Thames. The River Thames is the river in the United Kingdom and flows through London, playing a vital role in its history and economy. Question 110. Which famous Roman bath complex is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in England? A. Chester, B. Bath, C. D. Lincoln. Answers is B. Bath. The city of Bath is known for its baths, which are among the ancient Roman remains in the world. Question 111. What is the name of the traditional stew from Northern Ireland, often made with lamb or beef? A. Cullen skink, B. Ulster fry, C. Irish stew, D. Haggis. Answers is B. Ulster fry. Irish stew, though associated with Ireland generally, is a popular hearty dish in Northern Ireland, typically made with lamb or mutton, potatoes, carrots, and onions. Question 112. Which British author wrote Pride and Prejudice? A. Charlotte, B. Jane, C. Virginia Woolf, D. Mary Shelley. Answers is B. Jane. Jane was an English novelist whose works of romantic fiction, set among the landed gentry, earned her a place as one of the most widely read writers in English literature. Question 113. What is the name of the famous British children's author whose characters like Matilda and Willie? A. Enid, B. Doll, C. Beatrix Potter, D. A. Answers is B. Doll. Doll was a British novelist, short story writer, poet and screenwriter, whose books have sold more than 250 million worldwide. Question 114. What is the primary role of the British monarch in the armed forces? A. To command military operations, B. To be head of the armed forces, C. To approve military spending, D. To declare war. Answers is B. To be head of the armed forces. The monarch is the ceremonial head of the armed forces, symbolizing their unity and connection to the nation, while strategic command rests with the government. Question 115. What is the traditional name for the day when the remembers those who died in wars? A. Day, B. Remembrance Day, C. Day, D. Armistice Day. Answers is B. Remembrance Day. Remembrance Day, also known as Armistice Day, is observed on November, commemorating the end of World War I and honoring military personnel who died in wars. Question 116. Which major sporting event involves boats racing along the River Thames between Oxford and Cambridge? A. Henley Royal Regatta, B. The boat race, C. Week, D. Round the Island Race. Answers is B. The boat race. The boat race is an annual rowing race between the Oxford University Boat Club and the Cambridge University Boat Club, rowed on the River Thames in London. Question 117. What is the official anthem of the United Kingdom? A. Land of Hope and Glory, B. God Save the King, C. Rule Britannia, D. Jerusalem. Answers is B. God Save the King. God Save the King, or God Save the Queen when a female monarch reigns, is the national anthem of the United Kingdom and its Commonwealth realms. Question 118. What is the name of the traditional kilt worn by men in Scotland? A. Sari, B. Kilt, C. Toga, D. Tartan. Answers is B. Kilt. A kilt is a garment with pleats at the rear, originating in the traditional dress of Gaelic men and boys in the Scottish Highlands. Question 119. What is a major duty of parents in the regarding their children's education? A. To teach them a foreign language. B. To ensure they receive an education. C. To pay for private schooling. D. To choose their career path. Answers is B. To ensure they receive an education. In the, parents have a legal duty to ensure their children receive efficient education, suitable to their age, ability, and aptitude. Question 120. What is the official residence of the monarch in London? A. Windsor Castle. B. Palace. C. Kensington Palace. D. Clarence House. Answers is B. Palace. Palace is the London residence and administrative headquarters of the monarch of the United Kingdom. Question 121. Which British scientist developed the first successful electronic computer? A. Tim. B. Allen. C. Charles. D. Stephen Hawking. Answers is B. Allen. Allen was a British mathematician and computer scientist who is widely considered to be the father of theoretical computer science and artificial intelligence, notably for his work on the Enigma code Turing. Question 122. What is the traditional name for the period of fasting and reflection before Easter? A. Advent. B. Lent. C. Ramadan. D. Diwali. Answers is B. Lent. Lent is a solemn religious observance in the Christian liturgical calendar, commemorating the 40 days Jesus spent fasting in the desert. Question 123. Which British explorer is famous for charting the Pacific Ocean and discovering Australia? A. Sir Francis Drake. B. Captain James Cook. C. David. D. Robert Falcon Scott. Answers is B. Captain James Cook. Captain James Cook was a British explorer, navigator, cartographer, and captain in the Royal Navy, famous for his 3 voyages that mapped the Pacific Ocean. Question 124. What is the name of the legislative body of the Church of England? A. The Synod. B. The General Synod. C. The Ecclesiastical Council. D. The Convocation. Answers is B. The General Synod. The General Synod is the National Assembly of the Church of England, holding legislative power and advising on matters of doctrine, liturgy, and worship. Question 125. What is the name of the British national dish of battered fish with chips? A. Roast beef. B. Fish and chips. C. Shepherd's pie. D. Full English breakfast. Answers is B. Fish and chips. Fish and chips is a popular takeaway food in the United Kingdom and is widely regarded as a British culinary icon. Question 126. Which British political party is traditionally associated with the colour red? A. Conservative Party. B. Labour Party. C. Liberal Democrats. D. Green Party. Answers is B. Labour Party. The Labour Party is one of the 2 major political parties in the United Kingdom, and its traditional colour is red. Question 127. Which British political party is traditionally associated with the colour blue? A. Labour Party. B. Conservative Party. C. Liberal Democrats. D. Scottish National Party. Answers is B. Conservative Party. The Conservative and Unionist Party, commonly known as the Conservative Party, is one of the two major political parties in the United Kingdom, and its traditional colour is blue. Question 128. What is the name of the oldest cup competition in world football held in England? A. Premier League, B. FA Cup, C. League Cup, D. Champions League. Answers is B. FA Cup. The Football Association Challenge Cup, commonly known as the FA Cup, is an annual knockout football competition in men's domestic English football, first played in 1871. Question 129. What is the maximum penalty for serious crimes in the A. Large fine, B. Life imprisonment, C. Community service, D. Imprisonment? Answers is B. Life imprisonment. For the most serious crimes such as murder, the maximum penalty in the is life imprisonment. The death penalty was abolished for murder in 1965. Question 130. Who was the Welsh prince who fought for Welsh independence in the century? A. B. C. D. Arthur Tudor. Answers is B. Also known as the last was the last independent Prince of Wales, who tried to resist English rule in the century. Question 131. Which British engineer is famous for designing the Great Britain and the Clifton Suspension Bridge? A. George, B. Kingdom, C. Thomas Telford, D. Robert. Answers is B. Kingdom. Kingdom was a highly influential British civil engineer, responsible for constructing dockyards, the Great Western Railway, and a series of famous steamships. Question 132. What is the name of the famous Scottish lake rumoured to be home to a monster? A. Loch, B. Loch Ness, C. Loch or D. Loch Tay. Answers is B. Loch Ness. Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands is famous worldwide for its mythical inhabitant, the Loch Ness Monster, affectionately known as. Question 133. What is the name of the famous cliffs on the English coast that are a national landmark? A. Jurassic Coast, B. White Cliffs of Dover, C. Seven Sisters, D. Giant's Causeway. Answers is B. White Cliffs of Dover. The White Cliffs of Dover are cliffs that form part of the English coastline facing the Strait of Dover and France. They are a national symbol of Britain. Question 134. Which British charity protects historic buildings and landscapes for the nation? A. English Heritage, B. The National Trust, C. Historic England, D. Historic Scotland. Answers is B. The National Trust. The National Trust is a conservation charity that protects and opens to the public over 500 historic houses, gardens, ancient monuments, and nature reserves. Question 135. What is the traditional meal for Christmas dinner in the A. Fish and chips, B. Roast turkey, C. Curry, D. Spaghetti bolognese? Answers is B. Roast turkey. A traditional British Christmas dinner typically features roast turkey, roast potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and various vegetables like Brussels sprouts. Question 136. What is the highest court of appeal in Scotland for civil cases? A. High Court of Justiciary, B. Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, C. Court of Session, D. Sheriff Court. Answers is B. Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. For civil cases in Scotland, the highest court of appeal is the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. For criminal cases, it's the High Court of Justiciary. Question 137. Which Scottish engineer invented the pneumatic tyre? A. James Watt, B. John Boyd, C. Alexander Graham Bell, D. Robert. Answers is B. John Boyd. John Boyd was a Scottish inventor who invented the first practical pneumatic inflatable tyre for his son's tricycle in 1887. Question 138. What is the name of the major annual music festival held in England? A. Reading Festival, B. Glastonbury Festival, C. Isle of Wight Festival, D. Latitude Festival. Answers is B. Glastonbury Festival. The Glastonbury Festival is a festival of contemporary performing arts that takes place near England. Question 139. What is the primary role of the Privy Council? A. To advise Parliament, B. To advise the monarch, C. To oversee elections, D. To appoint judges. Answers is B. To advise the monarch. The Privy Council is a formal body of advisors to the monarch of the United Kingdom, made up of senior politicians, judges and archbishops. It advises on constitutional and governmental matters. Question 140. Which British scientist the structure of A. Franklin, B. Francis Crick, C. Hodgkin, D. Alexander Fleming? Answers is B. Francis Crick. Francis Crick, along with James Watson was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine in 1962 for their discovery of the molecular structure of. Question 141. What is the name of the National Theatre Company of the United Kingdom? A. The Globe Theatre, B. The National Theatre, C. The Royal Shakespeare Company, D. The Old. Answers is B. The National Theatre. The National Theatre, on the south bank of the River Thames in London, is one of the United Kingdom's two most prominent publicly funded performing arts venues. Question 142. What is the title given to a member of the House of Commons? A. Lord, B. Member of Parliament, C. Senator, D. Councillor. Answers is B. Member of Parliament. Members of Parliament are elected to represent a constituency in the House of Commons, where they debate and vote on proposed laws. Question 143. What is the name of the famous naval port in England, home to Admiral Nelson's flagship Victory? A. Plymouth, B. Portsmouth, C. D. Greenwich. Answers is B. Portsmouth. Portsmouth Historic Dockyard is home to Victory, the flagship of Lord Nelson at the Battle of, and is a major naval base. Question 144. What is the name of the group of islands off the north coast of Scotland, part of the A. Isle of Man, B. Islands, C. Channel Islands, D. of? Answers is B. Islands. The islands are an archipelago in the northern of Scotland, lying of mainland Scotland, and form one of the 32 council areas of Scotland. Question 145. Which British writer is known for her Harry Potter series of fantasy novels? A. C.S. Lewis, B. J.K. C. Philip Pullman, D. Beatrix Potter. Answers is B. J.K. J.K. is a British author, best known for writing the Harry Potter fantasy series, which has won multiple awards and sold over 500 million. Question 146. What is the official title of the person who leads debates in the House of Lords? A. The Speaker, B. The Lord Speaker, C. The Lord Chancellor, D. The Leader of the House. Answers is B. The Lord Speaker. The Lord Speaker is the presiding officer of the House of Lords, responsible for maintaining order and acting as a spokesperson for the House. Question 147. What is the approximate size of the square kilometers? A. 100,000, B. 240,000, C. 350,000, D. 500,000. Answers is B. 240,000. The United Kingdom covers an area of approximately 243,610 square kilometers 60 square miles. Question 148. What is the traditional instrument of Scotland known for its distinctive sound? A. Fiddle, B. C. Harp, D. Answers is B. The Great Highland Bagpipe is a national symbol of Scotland and is widely recognised for its unique sound and cultural significance. Question 149. Which British scientist discovered penicillin? A. Curie, B. Alexander Fleming, C. Joseph Lister, D. Edward. Answers is B. Alexander Fleming. Sir Alexander Fleming was a Scottish physician and microbiologist, best known for discovering the antibiotic substance penicillin in 1928. Question 150. What is the name of the traditional Welsh folk music and poetry festival? A. Celtic Connections, B. Eisteddfod, C. Fringe Festival, D. Hay Festival. Answers is B. Eisteddfod. An Eisteddfod is a Welsh festival of literature, music and performance dating back to the century. The largest is the National Eisteddfod of Wales.